Hey everybody, it's your old pal Chuck, and I'm back with another review. And today we're taking a look at the Studio Series KSI Widow. Now, this is a Decepticon, and it's actually based on concept art from Age of Extinction of a character that was going to be called Black Widow. Obviously, the name had to change due to the Marvel Comics character and Disney making movies, and Disney could very easily eviscerate Hasbro or just buy them, which has always been a rumor. But let me just say right off the bat that, as with most concept art figures, when the Hasbro design team can just work on their own without having to follow a pre existing animation or something, the figure comes out a lot better. With that said, this is a fairly simple transformer until you get to the very end. And I'm not saying it becomes a fiddly mess, but what ends up happening is the success of the transformation is dependent on the tolerances of the tabs here, allowing the top section to fold down into place. And even then, I do notice that there is some gapping. Now, this is a McLaren. That's about all I know. It's a McLaren that's on four wheels and goes vroom vroom. Some of this gapping might be accurate. It's the panel lines. I know that obviously the detailing here in the side, that is accurate, and stuff like that. Now, I also want to point out that I do notice what people call marbling, and sometimes people really don't like that. I think it looks great. I think it's a great detail, helps the figure stand out a little bit more. I do understand that I believe the concern is there might be some, that the plastic would be weak. I've had several figures that have looked like this and have had that like marbling, and I've never had them break. Maybe it's because of how I handle my figures. I don't know. But just something to point out. I guess it's also, if as long as it's not gold or black, or I'm sorry, gold or brown plastic, it should be fine. I did pick this up off of Amazon. I had it pre-ordered there. I tried getting it from Big Bad, but Amazon, I missed Big Bad's initial shipment, and Amazon got it, so I was able to get it then, and it's shipped, and it's still available there now with like 1 day shipping. So there you go. But other than that, it rolls quite nicely, and yeah, so we might as well get into the transformation. Now, one thing I will say about the gapping here, it actually does help popping panels, and if you're familiar with the Transformers Prime mainline deluxe class Viacon, this features like a similar transformation. I mean, for those of you who may not remember or weren't around, that figure was actually the standard for a long time about what could be done at a budget price point for in terms of transforming robots. Now, as you can see, all I'm doing right now is just trying to pop some panels to get a finger hold or something to bring up it will be the hood, the windshield, the roof, and the rear section are all gonna pop up, and it does peg in. When it pegs in, it does peg in quite nicely, and just 3, 2. There we go. So yeah, it tabs in up front here, and then also in the back section here. And one thing, as I mentioned, one thing you want to make sure is that when going into vehicle mode, you have the door panels tabbed in here. These back sections are tabbed in to that rear well, and make sure the the guns store here in the back of the leg in vehicle mode. At least once per transformation, either going to car mode or to robot mode, they pop out. That is, there is a different storage spot in robot mode that I think works a lot better. It's actually, I had the problem with the tabs here where I actually had to shave one down to get it to hook in. if these back ones don't hook in, then these tabs here will not go into the slots on these sides. So just pointing that out. And then what you also want to make sure is that you flip up that back section, that's the bumper. That actually will be the heels in robot mode. So once you have all that done, you have that top section open, and what you want to do now is untab the sides here, and then as you untab them, fold them up, not all the way, because you need the clearance to fold the front of the car down. There's a tab there that will go into a slot in the torso, and that will kind of hold in, and then you can flip these up. Actually, don't flip them up all the way just yet, because once you do that, as I'm trying to keep this clear, you want to grab the arms. The arms don't tab in anymore. They just rotate down on those inner, I guess, armpit joints. And then after that, untab the head and the spinal column, really, from the back of the waist, and that will snap in to the top there. And then make sure you do that you have the head, the hair in position. So then what you can do is flip up the rest of those side panels, and then what you want to do is fold down the doors just like so. We'll get back to those in a second. So once you have that done, now when going to vehicle mode, I like to peg the legs together first. But when coming out of vehicle mode, I like to separate them. But before we're going to separate them, we're actually going to take these panels. And these were the ones I had just been talking about how important it is that they actually tab in there. You want to untab them, rotate them up until they're in a position that there's a... I'm trying to see how I can show you this. There's a tab right where my finger is, and there's a notch in the leg that you want to line it up and then push it in, and that will sit flush along the leg. Just do it like that, and there you go. Now, get the arms back down. Now we're going to go ahead and split the legs. And as I said, if you're familiar with that Transformers Prime Deluxe Class Vehicon, this should look very familiar. Fold up that panel, fold up this panel, and as you're folding it up, you want to fold up the next section so that first section can actually tuck in flush. Fold it up like that, and then remember that tab I pointed out that would secure the top, the rear in car mode is now going to secure that whole leg section. And the bumper here will form the heel. Do it again on this side. Boom, the boom. Just needs that clearance. There you go. There you go. Make sure the heel is up. Finally, come around to the front. Try to get your finger into where the toe is, and then flip out the feet. This one's a little tighter. My finger's a little sore from doing it a couple times. There you go. Stand the figure up. Bring the knee pads out. I mean, it's kind of really up to you how far you want to do it. Just through the nature of playing with the figure, they will probably fold up. It's an aesthetic thing. It's up to you. But here you have KSI Widow in its robot mode. Now as it comes to the weaponry, the guns will just tab over the forearm and snap into place. But if you want weapon storage, flip up the door panels. There is a slot right there, and it's the same tab that you used in to store them in vehicle mode. Will tab up in there much more securely. So there you have that. So you can have one gun, two guns, it's up to you. Now, in terms of the articulation, the shoulder is on a ball joint. You do have the ball joint in the shoulder is a little loose, which kind of limits the rotation of the bicep. So really what ends up happening is you're going to rotate at the shoulder before you rotate at the bicep, if at all. The head is on a ball joint. can look up that far, can look down, pretty much that's it. One thing they did here is, if you notice, you have that like wiry hair come around the back. They gave it like a longer ponytail of sorts that goes down the back, but as you rotate, it doesn't move. It doesn't look that bad, and I see what they were going for. And I mean, really, if you're looking at your figure from behind, that's the best it's going to look. But then again, why are you just looking at the figure from behind? No waist swivel. You do have a ball joint at the hip. Not as loose as the shoulders. And let me just say that the shoulders, they're right on that cusp of being too loose. And the hips could be a touch tighter. You do have a almost 90 degree bend at the knee. I think a lot of it is blocked because of the leg kibble and stuff, which, you know, is a very clean finish. I almost want to say that and actually what ends up happening is the back window here will push that out of joint, but you do have a thigh swivel, which is, again, just on that cusp of being too loose. No ankle articulation, but because of the heels and the thickness of the leg, you pretty much are covered in that regard. So, do I like this figure? I have to say, yeah. I do admit I did have some problems, and I wasn't happy about the fact that I had to basically do a little work beforehand to get the figure to be able to transform and, you know, come together in car mode. But that was me. Your mileage may vary. Yes, this is a concept art figure. It's not as detailed as some of the movie figures, but I think that works in its favor, that the transformation isn't a fiddly, pain-in-the-tuchus mess. You know, some things are adjustable. Like, I think most people would want to have these panels angled out a little bit more. I do appreciate that there is weapon storage in both robot and vehicle mode, and it's clean. That the weapon store, they're kind of hidden for the most part. You can even leave them connected to the forearm because they don't block the hand. Other than that, any real issues I have to do with me. Like, I'm not a fan of the color orange, but this doesn't look that bad. If it was black or blue, I might enjoy it a little bit better, but then again, I may not have been able to notice the issues with the tabs and been able to fix it. You know, the darker colors make it harder to see things, but then again, the gapping wouldn't be standing out as much. As I said at the beginning, I got this from Amazon. Should be available. It was available and should be available again soon from Big Bad Toy Store. Other than that, I don't think this wave the full has started showing up at brick and mortar retail, because I think it's KSI Widow, TF1 Starscream, which we already looked at, got from Big Bad Toy Store, the Voyager class War for Cybertron Thundercracker, and maybe Scavenger and Mixmaster to round things out. I don't remember the exact case breakdown, but the point being is online retailers are getting it in piecemeal. Like, Amazon has Scavenger, Command Store had Scavenger and Mixmaster. Scavenger sold out, but they still have Mixmaster, but they also have KSI Widow, TF1 Starscream, and that War for Cybertron Thundercracker. So pretty much all I'm saying is you have options to get these figures. It's just up to you where you want to get it and how soon. You might want to wait for a sale on this one, since it's a non-movie. It's a character that was inspired from the movie, would have appeared in the movie if there was a budget. Not exact to the concept art. There's no tail. But it's fun. So, I mean, I know that for some of us, we can actually have a collection of these concept art figures, which, again, as I said in the beginning, by and large, have been better than the straight Studio series. I think the only one that really didn't work out was that Leader Class Megatron, but then again, it was a fantastic robot mode. It was just the vehicle modes kind of suffered. But that's it for the review. If you like this review, like, comment, and subscribe. I do have a Patreon. It's www.patreon.com/chuckdog1999. All I ask for is $1 a month, $12 a year. You know the spiel. And that's about it. I hope everyone's having a great day, a good summer thus far. Plenty more fun things to come. And this is your old pal Chuck for KSI Widow. We will see you next time.